And so we're underway here at Stanley. It's the Rhinos Under-16s against Newcastle Thunder Under-16s. And it's Harley Thomas with the first carry of the game. The Rhinos on a 4-match winning streak at the moment, and full of confidence in Mark Buttrell's side as Declan Edmondson now. Big drive into the line. The two Newcastle defenders got to get through some early work here. This Rhinos side are making Thunder work. Now Phillips, one of the players that's been reintroduced, one of the older in the side, and captains the scholarship for, I believe, the second time this year, as Brown goes searching down the right, and it's Seth Clapham who's immediately runs out and catches him as soon as he can. Back to Smith, nice kick back across to the left. Scary Evans is there, he's chasing, and what a hit that is on Matty Smith. I think he's feeling that one. What a shot from Leo on his opposite number. They're really up for this game, are the Rhinos. Oh, that pass goes a little bit wayward from Harry King, but reeled in by Finlay Lawless very well. I think he just has a couple of words to his hooker there. Didn't provide him with the best of passes, but Thunder going through the motions. That great first set by Leeds. 0-0 here in the early stages at Stanley. There's Clapham off the edge. Just gets a couple of metres, working towards a 40. It's going to be a deep kick. I believe that's from Tom Stringer straight into the arms of Scary Evans, and he's going back at the line and breaks through here. Leo, oh, chopped down at the 40. Now Taylor Smith goes in search, a little duck and a little dive back towards the 20. That's Smith. Oh, he's cut through a line here. Nice dancing feet from Harry Smith. Owning try to Leeds. Try number 1 from the returning Harry Smith, wearing the number 7 shirt. What a start here at Stanley. Leeds are up. 4-0 kick to come. So what a start here from the young Rhinos, and it is a young Rhinos side, a number of under-15s players. The majority of the squad actually is under-15s as opposed to earlier in the season. There's been a bit of a 50-50 mixture. The young boys standing strong and getting the early score. They've only played, I believe, about 3 minutes in this game, and already there's been a try in favour of the home side as Taylor Smith looks to convert. Tough conversion, just off to the left. He steps up, that's looking okay. Oh, he's at the post. That's just so tight. Score remains 4-0. Great opening start here at Stanley for the Rhinos. 4-0 against Newcastle Thunder. Like I said, coming into this game with plenty of confidence off the back of 4 back-to-back wins after starting the season with 2 defeats, would you remember, against St Helens and Warrington. In full swing now of the Rhinos as Newcastle get the game back underway. It's a little bit shorter than expected, just drops about the 20, but nevertheless it gives Declan Edmondson a chance to charge, and he gets over to the 30. That's a really good return there from the prop. Leeds looking to possibly go back to back. Corbett, here he goes, Mason Corbett. He's got Joe Phillips on his shoulder, and he does well to get into Newcastle territory. Here come the Rhinos. Smith goes down this left side again, gives it to Whittingham. He cuts away from the winger, back across the fullback, Dylan Bragg, and it's a try. Of course it's a try for Noah Whittingham. Superb from the centre. Superb from the Rhinos again on the break. Starts with Corbett and Phillips, working his way over to the left end with Smith, and he knows there's a gap. He's found one himself already in this game, and he goes over. Leeds 8-0, and it's looking to be traffic's all going in one direction. great start from the Rhinos, just so free-flowing. From the restart, Edmonton catching that ball, there was no one going to stop the young man. So Taylor Smith looking to convert his second of the evening. It's a beautiful evening. A bit of wind in the air, might I say, as well. It's slightly hot. It's still got the wind in the air. He tries to curl that back across the left, but still the flags stay down. Score remains 8-0. But nevertheless, this Rhino side, red hot. Matching the heat we've had over the last week. Absolutely red hot in the opening stages of this game. We've about to play a matter of minutes. I think about 5 minutes on the clock. And already 2 tries up. Newcastle just looking to stem the flow here if they can. There's a restart. Short again. It's going to drop on the 30. Gets to the favour of the bounce as well. Into the arms of Aaron Noakes. And Newcastle now looking to counter. Clever kick. Must be said for him. Cameron Cullen. He's got the look of the bounce that time. Frustrated. I think that pass a little bit awkward there for Joe Miller. Nevertheless, gets himself over into Leeds' 30. Closing in on the try line here, Newcastle. Lawless out the back, sends it nicely on to Bragg, who gets hit immediately by the latest Leeds try scorer, Whittingham. He does really well, nowhere to get up and catch the fullback when he can. Stringer, ball coming across the line. Oh, the smallest man on the field in George Brown. What a shot that was on Miller. Halfback's happen to do that on prop forwards. There's the kick stabbed over the top. It's too long. Poor kick in the end from Elijah Deladriti. In the end, taken easily by, or over the sideline from Taylor Smith, should I say. And so Leeds get a tap 20 and a 7 tackle set, more crucially here. Just dangerous for what this young Rhino side can do here, is the winger, the edge, takes the tackle of 2. They're coming forward again. Bobby Phillips, part of that move that saw Whittingham score a matter of minutes ago. The duo combining again. Now off the edge is Marshall. Also known as George Brown. Excuse me. Getting through the motions, not just in defence but in attack as well. Smith across the line. Drops it off to Edmonton. There's a gap opened up again, but just can't squeeze that offload away when he can. There's now Brown. Short pass on for Marshall. Dumped onto his hip by Deladriti. Brilliant tackle from the Newcastle halfback. Just what they need at the moment, Thunder, to just exert a bit of dominance on this Leeds side and just show they're not going to be that easy to penetrate, as Smith dabs a kick and there's a chaser instead. Oh, it nearly bounces up for the second row of the second time round as Matty Smith allows it to bounce. But he gets lucky. So it'll be a tap 20 now for Newcastle. Now the game's just going into a bit of a pendulum. Just letting both sides again go through the motions and make the most of 7 tackles. Can this be the time that Newcastle reply? There's Pearce. Easily taken by 3, swarmed upon by the boys in blue and amber. Move out to the right. Stringer taken down by Phillips, and Brown's there as well. Back in field with Noakes and Pearce as well. Just over halfway here, Newcastle. Drop off, it's going to be Deladriti with the deep kick. Well, not kicking deep from kickoffs, but they're kicking deep on the 5th, and that goes straight over the back of the boards. Fine to the ground, and now it'd be a tap 20 to Leeds. Really poor kick. a lot of the field. I mean, it travelled in the wind. It has to be said, and just mentioned it, the wind is pretty strong here at Stanley, and so is this force that the Rhinos are coming forward with. The Skerritt Evans goes forward with that one. Now Taylor Smith, over halfway. Leeds making some ground nice and easily on their home ground. I'll mix this with, obviously, the Headingley Stadium, but to the pitch being relayed there, so the 16s back down here at Stanley as Whittingham finds a nice gap. That's a good pass from Smith, and it looks like he should really have got himself there, Noah Whittingham. It's interesting, he looked for the ball back inside to steady. It was unselfish, but a poor pass in the end. Bragg does well to, bat the ball down. I think it's going to be a scrum here to Newcastle, so I think it was just lost from the Leeds centre. A little bit excited going at the line. As Newcastle pinned 10 metres from their own line. Deladriti going forward with a bit of venom. Put down well by Brown and Taylor Smith. No, stops, cuts back towards the edge. He was going to come back in field there, the second rower, but chose instead to arch out wide. There's Miller. Nearly at halfway. Again, Newcastle. On the fourth, moving the ball over to this left-hand side. It's Cullen, who's eventually put down on halfway. Not many metres made, really. Very flat from Newcastle, and it forces Stringer to kick from deep. It bounces nicely for Joe Diskin, who's not had a lot to deal with in these early stages, and now actually decides, you know what, I'm going to stretch my legs and have a bit of a run over the 20s. A nice return from the fullback. And Whittingham, this recent try score. It's been a bit of time since the Rhinos have scored. It's 8-0 currently, thanks to that try from Whittingham and the early score from Harry Smith as well. As Thomas, can he get the quick play of the ball? Looks to try go forward, but instead the referee says it's play on. And now it's Corbett into the backfield. Dances around one. Mason Corbett for the post. Easy try from Leeds. And it all stemmed from the quick play of the ball from Thomas. He was trying to go himself, but the referee said play it. Out of the back, Taylor Smith with a nice drive. Offloads for Corbett. And nothing is stopping the hooker from there. Not even the challenge of Aaron Noakes, who he turned him inside and out. Gets his first of the game. Superb again from the Rhinos. It's a relatively straightforward conversion here from Taylor Smith. It should be his. Looks like it could be his first of the evening, unless something goes slightly wrong. I think he'll fancy his chances from it. Wait, steps up. Nice and easy. The flags go up. Score extends out. It's 14 points to 0. Again, I just keep repeating myself, but what a start this is from the Rhinos. Been so dominant in these early stages. Newcastle just have not had the field position, not had the territory to really attack at all. And it's Thunder that trudge back towards the halfway line. And I wonder what we're going through their heads right now. I think the first thing actually would be to how do we stop this Leeds attack, because we're leaving it in the middle, we're leaving ourselves a bit open. As they try the short kick off, it's allowed to bounce again. It's absolutely killing the Rhinos here. I mean, I know George Brown's come up with the ball, but it's the second time that the Thunder have caught Leeds napping. They've used the space instead of kicking long, which is kind of a little bit unorthodox. It makes the game nice and interesting if that's how they want to play this game, as Phillips Gets Leeds over halfway. Edmonton, they can't deal with him either. The forwards that Leeds are using here are just coming forward with ease. Just using the pace and strength to bust as many holes as they can, as this looks to be another opportunity. It's Thomas out wide. Taylor Smith dives in acrobatically at the corner. Swift, slick, superb. And Leeds are in again. All started with Brown, coming off the back of that nice carry from Edmonton. Comes across the line beautifully. Brown onto Diskin. Thomas is there. Nice pass out wide, well weighted. And gives Kai enough chance to get a bit of space and score in the corners. Nice one again. It's try number 4, and we're not even at 20 minutes yet, and we're nearly at 20 points if we can convert this. Slightly tougher conversion on the right-hand side. Just furthest away from our commentary position here. As you can just see in the trees there, the wind is pretty severe here at Stanley. It is blowing. Obscuring that heat because it's still pretty hot. It's about 18, 19 degrees still. Taylor Smith just takes his time, puts his boot through the ball. Is that swinging back across? It looks like it is, and it is. Great kick. And a second of the game, and that takes up the 20 points for Leeds. It's 20-0 against this Newcastle side who've just yet to show what they can do and flex their muscles. It becomes the 4th different try scorer as well. We've had 4 already, would you believe? Mason Corbett, Noah Whittingham, Harry Smith, and now Kai Taylor Smith. Obviously looking to come through the academy and the scholarship in the same way that his dad leaded back in the day. One of a number of players in this Leeds side to have connections to former Rhinos. There's Oladipupo. Looked to have dropped that ball, but referee allows play on as Phillips. That ball goes back. It should be brought back, should it? No. Referee says it's a Newcastle ball. So finally Newcastle can actually breathe a little bit, and if they can get themselves on the score sheet, it's Miller with the first. It's now Pierce. I keep using the word swarmed, but it's definitely one word that definitely describes what Leeds' defence is doing right now. It's getting up very quickly off the line and finding the Newcastle man who has the ball. Nothing really on show from Newcastle at this stage. They're just trying to get themselves through the motions, I think, and build up a bit of confidence. There's Clapham. Tackled well by Brown, and Harley Thomas in there as well from Dewsbury Celtic. As that kick goes high. It's well taken by Skerritt Evans, who we know can return the ball really strong, and he beats 3 challenges. He's still going towards the 20. The winger, a great performance so far from him. His edge producing 2 of the tries in the early stages to get Leeds this foothold in the game, as Oladipupo comes forward again. What a wild card to bring off the bench. He's gone in place of Toby Marshall and is ripping holes in this Thunder side in the early stages that he's been on the field. Now a bit of space for Harley Thomas, and he goes himself. He says, I've provided a try, fancy one myself. There's 2 defenders up there. Make sure they put him down. There's Hartley. Good stint from Bobby, usually in the props, so would have been maybe rotated out by now, but the forwards doing big stints at the minute. There's a Brown. Nice long ball on for Whittingham. There's a space for the centre. Fends away. Easy try. Too easy for Noah Whittingham. They all came from the space being spotted there by George Brown. Really clever ball over the top. And with only Leo Bradley to beat, Whittingham looks up at his opposite number and says, I've got the beating of you. Straight through he goes. Nice fend. And a nice try to go with it too. His second of the game. We're on 20 minutes. Scored 24-0 with a kick to come again from Taylor Smith. But Leeds really exerting their dominance now. That's 5 consecutive tries on the bounce from Mark Butterell's side now. Taylor Smith going for his third from this sort of position, and the flag stayed down again. So score remains 24-0 in favour of this Rhinos side. There's now the change being made. Joe Phillips coming from the field. Law Jones Buchanan going on. That's another familiar name for you Rhinos fans. Definitely a familiar surname. He's on his home patch. Played all his junior rugby at Stanley. And his brother Dax will be joining the scholarship for 2023. So nice to see the Jones Buchanan clan getting nice representation. That means obviously with Jamie as part of the first team. As Thomas takes that one nicely. Now Alada Pupo. Back himself up towards the 40, and he's going to get there. JM, nice play from the sub. Big powerhouse since he's come off the bench. Now Brown drops off inside to Hartley. Still going to get through the work. Whatever he can do. Corbett tries to spot a gap in behind. He's pokes his nose through. Away goes Mason Corbett. Oh, this is another try coming. Yes, it is. George Brown now under the posts. Easy enough again for Leeds. Corbett, the creator, spots the gap beautifully in behind. He did really well, actually. There didn't look to be an opportunity there, but poked his nose through and then ripped his way free from those Thunder defenders. And great support play from Brown. And just as we said we were going to hit 20 points, now we're going to hit 30. This is going to be a relatively straightforward conversion from Taylor Smith. Again in front of those uprights. All it's taking at the minute for Leeds is just taking a half chance. And they're taking advantage as the kick goes through, the flags go up, score goes to 30-0. I was going to say we're nearly at a point a minute, but we've not even reached 30 minutes yet. We're only on 24. It's relentless from this Rhino side. It's a familiar walk back to halfway. Newcastle starting to get off again, and they go even more creative. It's not unbelievable, but it's extremely unorthodox, these kickoffs. They're spotting that Leeds either aren't set at kickoff or that there's plenty of space and they back themselves to get to the ball first. It's a really intelligent kick. What a way to restart as Leeds then go, we're going to have a go here. And here goes Jacob Stead. Has he got the legs, the second rower? I think he does. I don't think Dylan Bragg's going to get to him. And under the posts, Jacob Stead goes. He teased the try earlier in the game. And it's almost the frustration of being caught out by those kickoffs. Leeds are going we're going to put the hammer down and we're going to show you what we can do. Harry Smith, a nice pass. Stead just runs a great line. It's as simple as that is. It is just a great line. And although he looked to be struggling a little bit, he made sure he got himself under the posts. Try number 6. Takes the score to 34-0. Kick to come from Taylor Smith, who's back in front again. His 4th conversion. Pull it back him again at this position. He goes with that right foot. Through it goes, and the score goes to 36-0. This is getting a bit silly now on the scoreboard. I mean, there's some really nice stuff being played here from this Leeds side, don't get me wrong, but Newcastle just need a break as such. Just to stop whatever this Leeds attack is. As now Declan Emerson comes from the field. A well-earned break. As Bragg gets his head up. And now finally they do go long. Down, it's a great take. Wow, that's a great take from Oladapopo. That's usually the job that the halfback does, but I say, and that's a really good return as well. What a carry this is from JM Oladapopo. Over to the 40. Superb from the young man. Gets a nice round of applause as well from the fans below. As Luca Teal coming on the field is part of that change. But what a drive that was from Oladapopo. Here he comes again, JM. Absolutely relentless from the forward. Takes the kick off and then gets his side over back into try-scoring territory. I think he'd be really pleased on Matt Buttrell. As here goes George Brown. Easy pass. And it's try number 2. No, it's not. It's even try number 3. Excuse me. Try number 3 from Noah Whittingham. He's moved over onto that left. The break from Brown. Easy enough for Leeds. And as a support play from Whittingham, who marks his first start for the Rhinos with a hat-trick. What a way to do it. He's come off the bench 3 times this year. This is his first start, Noah. He was originally scheduled to start in the second rows, but due to late injuries had to move into the outside backs, and he's really grasping the chance with both hands. Has his 3rd, and Taylor Smith has his 5th conversion. It's now 42 points to 0, and we've only just hit the half-hour mark. Still plenty of rugby yet to be played, I know, but this is got a really good foothold now in this game. If you can say that, I think it's even more than a foothold. 42 points scored in 30 minutes by this Leeds side. Limited changes made. It's been the same side out there. There's just been the 3 that I've spotted. But Leeds in full command here. That kick allowed to bounce out. And just where Leeds look to have the upper hand, as Newcastle pull a couple of tricks up the sleeve and pull them out the bag. And now they'll get a dropout and possession, more crucially near the try line. This will be the first big chance they've had in about 15 minutes or so. There's a dropout allowed to bounce. It goes under the arms of the Newcastle man, eventually claimed by Bragg, but I think that Bobby Wilson would have liked to have had a grip on that ball early on rather than letting it drop under him, as Ryan King, out of acting half, closing in on the 30. Plays the ball for Harry King. Spreads it on for Joe Banks. He makes a nice few metres now. It's on with Bobby Wilson, that man who the ball went under his grasp, but this time make sure that he gets the tackle completed on the 20. King again. Moves the ball nicely for Deladriti, who shapes it back inside for Cullen. We're on the 5th, 20 metres out. A nice kick here do Thunder the world of good, but it's threaded through. Nicely taken by Skerrett Evans, and he's allowed to return back to where the kick was taken. Just whether the edge defence just didn't get up there, I'm not sure. From Newcastle, but they're allowing Leeds to come forward as Diskin. I've seen a lot of Joe in this half, but he's never been doing his job when he's been asked. Now Taylor Smith drives forward. Smith shapes. Ooh, just wants to take the tackle, but also wants to get that offload away, and Diskin goes away into the line over the 40, closing in on the 35. Corbett waits at dummy half. Brown. Passes for Smith on his shoulder, then on for Harley Thomas. Now inside for Kai Taylor Smith is Whittingham. 3 tries to his name. Boyle want a 4th, and we know it. Taylor drops a kick over the top, looking for Stead. It finds Stead. Try time for Leeds. Easy try. And in goes Jacob Stead. Try number 2 for the second rower. Clever kick over the top from, I believe it was George Brown. No, it's Harry Smith, excuse me. Really clever kick. Just when I thought the Newcastle had it covered. They had the men out there, but just didn't have it. It clearly showed they didn't have it covered. A really good take from Stead. Obviously not what he's out there to do, Jacob, but it always helps when you've got little skills like that. Taylor Smith just eyes up those posts. He's taking his time with this one. It's Kai. And nicely sweeps it back across and through, taking the score to 48-0 with 7 minutes to go, or by my clock about 7 minutes to go until half time. What a first half this has been. It's been superb from the young Rhinos. Laying down a strong foundation. Like I say, a lot of these guys in the 15s for next year, just laying down a strong foundation to build on for 2023. Also, a couple of these guys also be looking for a last chance to get that academy contract for next year. That's going to be looking out to do. Kick nice and long, not as unorthodox as we've seen, but nicely taken by Diskin. Straight back at the line, and Deladriti's there to take him down. Look, they're saying that's a knock on. And yeah, it's saying it's a turnover to Leeds. Unlucky there from the Rhinos. There's a knock on then. I think it might have been impeding the marker. Jones is getting a couple of pats on the back afterwards, but nevertheless, Newcastle coming forward with King. Can they get a try before half time? We hope they can. There's Banks put down 10 metres out. Stringer, long ball on for Wilson. Now inside the 10. This is Newcastle's chance, you feel. If they're going to get any points, a nice one before half time would do them a bit of justice as Stringer inside the 5. Brown, his opposite number, tackles in there. Hartley's back on the field as well for Leeds, as Oladipupo comes out and meets Wilson really well there. Good tackle from Jayham. Up on and gets the man. There's Deladriti, poor kick, just hanging in the air. Well taken by Luca Teal. Good work from the young man. He's had a couple of appearances this year for the scholarship, under 15, and now Skerritt Evans, backfield over the 20. Can Leeds get one more before the break? It's to Newcastle's just, I don't know, they'll want them to, as that ball looked to be stripped there from Taylor Smith, allowed to play on as Corbett comes forward. He's looked as dangerous in this first half. Mason Corbett. He's had a brilliant first half. There were a number of players. I don't think anyone's had a poor one. And now Oladapopo on a drop off from Smith. Newcastle have to muscle up to put the big man down. And Smith onto Diskin, tries to dance his way through, gets the offload away for Teal. Long ball out for Skerritt Evans. But the ball is getting, this play's getting pulled back. It's a forward pass from Luca Teal. And it looked to be try time again. It was certain to be try time again. They'd got the space leads. Brilliant again from Buttrell's side. All the hard work was done from Mason Corbett to start with. Moving back across, Diskin finding Teal in the space. Skerritt Evans just overran the play. And in the end, a forward pass sees Newcastle get the ball back 10 metres from their own try line. Not ideal, but the way they have been at some points in this game. There's that long, they're throwing a long ball that's not really necessary for Noah Thompson. I'm trying to catch Leeds open on the edge, but they're trying to overplay a bit over near the line. That's running the risk of a drop ball if they do drop it. Because again, this Leeds line is running up quickly as well. Corbett this time bringing down King along with Law Jones Buchanan. Wilson hit by 3 over the 20. We'll be on about the third or the fourth here. Leeds doing the job not just offensively but also defensively as well. Deladrita gets a lot of break on. Here we go for Newcastle. This is a bit better as Clapham has to be dragged down in the end by Skerritt Evans. It's now Lyon on for Deladrita again. A poor kick that's just hanging in the air, and Brown says, "I'll take that one, thank you very much." And there's a bit of space for him to come back into as well, and gets a beautiful offload. It's great for Whittingham. Over towards the 40. Leeds looking to close the half out with more points if they can. Thomas cuts it back inside. Here goes Harley Thomas. Nice, cuts a bit of space. Cut down the man to get into the backfield as Taylor Smith finds Thomas again. Now Hartley. Dummies. Hits at the line, the big man. Welcome back onto the field. 10 metres out here, Leeds. Smith. Jones Buchanan. Just hit well by Deladrita. One of the guys that is standing strong for Newcastle at this point is Hartley. Can he go for the line, Bobby Hartley? What a tackle. What a tackle from the man. But then Corbett goes through. Just prevents the inevitable. Does Newcastle. What a tackle on Hartley. But nevertheless, Corbett. It's a fractured line from Newcastle. And the hooker goes over. For his second of the game. Takes us up to 50 points. And it's 52-0 with a minute or so remaining. It's been a dominant first half from this Leeds side. And Taylor Smith can make it a little bit better if he can convert. Score 54-0 and I put a fair bit of money on him doing that, I think. As he goes with that right foot, nice in the air. Through it goes. And we're at 54 points to 0. It's been thorough from this Leeds side in this first half. Newcastle rightfully just taking the time to walk back to halfway. We're not quite at half time just yet. We're nearly there. going deep. This kick fielded by Brown, gives it to Oladapopo. Forward he comes, takes the tackle of 3, and eventually down he goes. But that, I believe, yes, there's a first half action here at Stanley, and what a first half it's been. 10 tries, 10, I reiterate that, in this first half from this Leeds side. It all kicked off with Harry Taylor opening the scoring after 3 minutes before Noah Whittingham backed that one up. Mason Corbett then on the break added his name to the score sheet before Kai Taylor-Smith said, "I'll have one as well." Whittingham got his second before Brown and Stead also got their firsts of the game. Then the moment, Whittingham getting his third and on a great solo performance so far before Jacob Stead and Corbett got their seconds to take this half-time score to Leeds Rhinos Under-16s 54, Newcastle Thunder Under-16s 0. What a second half we've got coming up. What can we expect? So the team's back out for the second half, and what a first half we had here at Stanley. The Rhinos scoring 10 tries and kicking 7 goals to take a 54-0 lead into the break. It was superb. It was relentless scoring with Noah Whittingham leading the way with a hat-trick. But it's the Rhinos that get us underway for this second half. It makes you wonder what the score's going to be, but you can just see that a couple of players have been brought onto the field. So a fair few changes at half-time. Just close to your screen you can see the number 20 shirt of Dax Millington. He's making his first appearance for the Rhino Scholarship this week. So congratulations to Dax. Jack Purtill also there wearing 17. Just made that tackle there, and Elliot Fox as well behind him. But it's Newcastle who are looking to implement their dominance earlier in this second half. They look to try turn it around. Anything can happen. It is, of course, scholarship rugby. It's not about the scorelines. It's about developing these players, developing the next talent coming through. Soon you'll see some of these on a rugby league field. That's a nice little dart out of dummy half by Carrie King. He's into the backfield. Dylan Hutchinson is there. He's wearing 14 at fullback. It's a great tackle. He's lost the ball, I think, as well, Harry King, in that tackle. He has. Brilliant from Hutchinson. What a way to mark your first play of the half. There's a fumble there from Law. Jones Buchanan put on his back by Finlay Lawless. Edmondson back on the field for this second period. Get himself over the 30 towards the 40. Leeds free flowing again. Oh, that's just a small miscommunication there, I think, between George Brown and Whittingham there. Just loses the ball. So Newcastle back in a commanding position. They didn't get many of these chances in the first half. So what can they make in this second? It's King, player that made that break minutes ago. King out of dummy as it might be his brother Ryan King going out of dummy half. It's now Pierce. Just a truck over Jones Buchanan. He's left him in a bad state. I think Law there is just trudging back towards the goal line. But Newcastle eager for points. Here goes Deladitri. Wide pass on for Flynn Taylor. Oh, it's just great defence from Leeds. It was Kai Taylor-Smith there making the tackle, and over the sideline he goes. Opportunity was there for Thunder. In the end, good slide defence. Catches Newcastle out, and it looks like Lord Jones Buchanan is going from the field. So I'm just hoping that that's okay. The physio and showing the head signal, so hopefully it's nothing too serious as Oladapopo comes on to replace him. As Millington gets his first proper carry of the game. That'll settle him down. Dax come from Rugby Union. Played a little bit for Doncaster Knights in their junior programmes. He's made the switch. He's only played a few months here at Leeds. But one that's highly praised is Luca Teal with a bit of space to work down that right-hand side. Nice release there from Hutchinson and Purtill, and it's Purtill that will wait at dummy half. Goes out, goes searching down the short side. Skerritt Evans, there is a bit of space, but as he tries to get to his feet and struggle to his feet, thinking there's a foot that goes over the sideline. The flag immediately goes up from the sideline official. So Newcastle, really the play wasn't on. I've come over to this right-hand side and kind of gone safe. You're always running the risk if you go down that short side of going over the sideline. Of course, those that don't follow rugby league too closely, it does mean that you give your opponents the ball instead of keeping possession for yourself. So Newcastle with Harry King on for Pearce. Done a lot of work, the loose forward, in this early stages of the second half. Commanding a bit more of the ball, wearing that grey scrum hat. He's now Lawless. Now by George Brown and Edmonton. Just full of energy, Declan Edmonton. Since he's come off, he did about a 20-minute stint in the first half and he's fresh back out on the field for the start of this second. Drags his opposite number, Luke Miller, to the ground. It's Bragg. He's on for Ryan King. Gets himself towards Leeds' 20. He's looking good on the fifth tackle here for Newcastle. What can they produce on the last? Bragg chips over the top. No one really chasing. It's a simple take in the end for Hutchinson, who's come on and replaced Joe Diskin and gets a bit of a break as well. That's nice for him, Dylan Hutchinson. That'll put him under. That'll give him a bit of confidence. Now Fox, another that's come from the bench, eager to carry where he can. Stead, nice little breakaway and into the backfield he goes. It's a great break. He eventually caught though. Sorry, it's Taylor Smith, excuse me. Great break. In the end, brought down 20 metres out, 40 metres out. There's Whittingham, 3 tries to his name. Eager to get more, I'm sure, in this second half. Purtill. Now Hartley, dummies, goes himself, Bobby. He's brought down about 15 metres from the try line. They're going end-to-end here, the Rhinos. Is this going to be a try? George Brown, Grubber kicks him behind. He's chasing himself. Comes off the edge, does the Newcastle man. And in the end, taken down just in front of his post. He does really well to cover, but where was the Leeds chase? There was only George Brown there to take it. And in the end, just giving Thunder the ball. But again, despite not having the opportunity, they're now defended really well here, Leeds. There's Miller stopped in his tracks by Teal and Edmonton coming across to help out. It's now Noakes. On the 20, Newcastle still within their own half on tackle 4. King is taken back by 3s. The defence still seems to be really good here from the Rhinos. On the last, comes wide onto Strinju, kicks away, and it takes a nice bounce over the sideline. A nice settler, you'd say. Pins Leeds back in their own half. They're not having to defend a running man. Instead, it's gone over the sideline. They will start the set 40 metres from their own try line. Here's Fox. One drop off for Stead. 1 try to his name. It's 2 tries, excuse me. The second being very acrobatic as he took that pass nicely in the air, but Leeds looking to open up the edge again, and it's Skerritt Evans. Down the sideline goes Leo. He's put down 20 metres away from the try line. Leeds looking to create once again here. Fox just overruns it. In the end, has to give himself up to Evan Bradford. Purtill at dummy half. Just comes off the hand initially of Stead, but second rower does well to keep hold of it. Leeds building here. Purtill on for Bobby Hartley. Now it's with Edmonton. Can he go for the line? Can he twist his way through Declan? Well, he's held up. It was good defence. The 3 tacklers just putting him on his back, ensuring then there's no chance he can get the ball. Kai Taylor-Smith is shouting for the ball though on this right-hand side, and they're going to come right with Brown on for Hutchinson. Flat ball. Millington on debut. try time for Leeds. It's taken them 8 minutes as opposed to the 3 it took them in the first half. But nevertheless, they're over to score. And it's Dax Millington making his first appearance for the Rhinos Scholarship since joining them a couple of months ago. That also opens his scoring account for Leeds. Takes the score to 58-0. Kick to come. So he kicked one from this position before Kai Taylor-Smith, but he'll have another chance now. What a moment. I'm sure his parents will be really, really proud of him, Dax, for getting over for a try on his first appearance. One player that, of course, Matt Butcher will look to work more with next year as an under-15. As Taylor-Smith can't quite get it this time. It swings away. Score remains Leeds Rhinos Under-16s 58, Newcastle Thunder Under-16s 0. And it's a good start to the second half. I mean, they've really done all the hard work in the first half, Leeds, but they'll take whatever they can from this second period. And Newcastle doing a very familiar route back to halfway with the kicking team. Dylan back, just waiting for direction from the referee. And he does so, and off we go again. A deep restart taken by Hutchinson. Just feeds the ball to Everton, who almost breaks through it. So I think it's a tackle of Bobby Wilson that just, in the end, brings the prop down. I mean, he was charging through nevertheless, and now Oladapopo, one player that was wreaking havoc in that first half, is doing the same again. Pirtle tries a little dive out dummy half. Not nothing to say about that one. It's nothing to dislike, but then he loses the ball, which is a bit frustrating for him, but let's say he's new onto the field. Made his first start in the win against Hull KR last time out. I'm just going to I don't mind him having a nice little dart out and just have a bit of a stretch of the legs, get yourself in the rhythm, in the motions. Having been on the bench for 40 minutes in the first half, as Harry King decides to go short side instead of coming down alongside, and it's a forced move as Oladapopo makes a tackle. He makes another great tackle. Brilliant from the prop, who's joined as well by Jacob Stead. It's now Lawless over the Leeds 40. Plays the ball for King. Now Pearce. Dummies, goes at the line and just got Pirtle hanging off him and Whittingham as well. Keep going down this left hand side. They must see an opportunity as Deladriti just goes himself. It's all one-man rugby at the minute from Newcastle. They're not throwing the ball around, but I guess that's they're trying to make the most of what they can as Pirtle takes that kick really nicely. And off goes Jack Pirtle. Oh, he'd shown signs of this earlier. What about the pace, though? He's put the afterburners on. And over he goes. Jack Pirtle under the posts. Superb try for Leeds. Getting the 12th of the game. And definitely shaking and having a couple of high fives, because that was superb. Took a great kick across the field, but then just runs and dives under the posts, and it'll extend the lead to beyond the 60. But the play's being pulled back here. I was going to say that I think the referee's pulling the play back here. Both teams are walking back towards the Rhinos try line, and it is it's a penalty to Newcastle for offside. How bizarre! I wonder how they let Pirtle run the length of the field. I'm assuming that's what he's just saying to the referee. Why it wasn't called before it went into full flight, but nevertheless, it gives Newcastle this opportunity to try and get themselves on the scoreboard. As Flynn Taylor, Joe Banks tries to turn and twist his way to the line. Now it's Joe Miller. Again, this one-up rugby as they're looking to make the Leeds forwards do the hard work, the Leeds middles. Now to the left with Deladriti. Short pass back on the inside. Great run from Pearce. That's more like it from Newcastle. A nice drop, nice cut-out run on the forward. Now Deladriti goes himself, gets the offload away. It's dropped. It's dropped by Seth Clapham, and Leeds will counter. That looked to be the chance there for Newcastle. Now Hutchinson back across, over the 40, Leeds in full motion again. It doesn't take them long to click. And they're wanting to play this way. To Kai Taylor-Smith. There's a gap straight to his left. He cuts back into the defenders, which is a bit bizarre. Maybe you've gone over to your left. There was a bit of space out there for him, if you'd have found it, but instead wanted to go for the posts as Leeds. Is there a try back in it? Oh no, it's intercepted. Fox's pass is intercepted by Deladriti, but look at this from Jamal Adepupo. What a tackle! What a tackle from JM Oladapupo. Did not give up on the play. Could have easily let the Newcastle man run the length, but instead said, no, you're not doing that on my watch. We're keeping that nil as long as I'm on the field. Absolutely brilliant. Must be up for man of the match. It's now Lawless. There's the ball on the 20. Stringer. For Pearce. It's taken by Millington and Whittingham. Dives down the short side. It's a nice pass. It's a first try of the game. And they're on the scoreboard. It was interesting from Harry King. I wondered where he was going to go with that play, the hooker. But it caught Leeds napping. They didn't have the numbers at all. And a clever pass out the back sends Flynn Taylor in. Finally, they're on the scoreboard. 58 points to 4. Kick to come from the sidelines from Dylan Bragg. Just taking his time here. The game opening the score, and it all came off the back of the interception from and the break after that pass from Elliot Fox. It's a poor pass, but even though Jamal Adepupo got him down, they didn't give up hope. Newcastle, they worked themselves over to this left as that kick just glances across the face of the posts. So the score remains 58-4. And then finally, after pulling themselves over to the left-hand side, Harry King spotted Leeds out of position and a little bit of lapse in concentration as well, I think. To send Flynn Taylor over in the corner. So Leeds walking back towards halfway. Obviously with this commanding lead, it's just been cut back to 54 points, the advantage. As Bobby Hartley re-enters the action. You see wearing the number 13 jumper. And it will be Pirtle that gets us underway. The kick allowed to bounce by Newcastle. Picked up by Stringer, who tries to spot a gap and thinks he's got through actually, but Taylor-Smith shuts the door pretty firmly. on the halfback. Now the try scorer Taylor, met by 2. Whittingham being one of them, and Taylor Smith being the other. Now Pearce, a player that we're calling the name of a lot. It's just because of the pure work he's getting through. He's putting his hand up and saying, I'll take the carry, give me the ball. Well, happy to take on this Leeds defence. There's now Miller. Towards his own 40. Nice movement across the line. Deladriti finding Noakes. He then gives it on to Bradley. Just push back and they keep on going here, Leeds. Brilliant defence. 3 players swarming him. Teal, Stead, Skerritt Evans. Not giving up despite the scoreline. And every metre does matter as that kick allowed to bounce in the sun as Taylor. Oh, that's just unlucky from Kai. He looked to have it covered, but I think the defender slightly took his attention. And in the end, Newcastle with more ball, and I think they'll just be praising it after the first half they had. They'll just be happy to take whatever they've got here, Newcastle. Obviously had that try they've just scored moments ago through Flynn Taylor. Score remains 58-4. So Newcastle have a scrum down 45 metres from the Leeds try line. It'll be Stringer to feed the ball. For King now. On with Banks. I'm sorry, Bragg, sorry. As now Wilson. Met by 3. They're all big Leeds defenders. He's choosing to run at the big men, Bobby. He can. As Harry King. Short pass, creative for that try. Just simple rugby again from Newcastle here. They're just trying to build a bit of pressure in this Leeds half as Deladriti gives it on. It's a nice one-handed catch from Leo Bradley, who's dumped on his back by Teal. Superb. As Deladriti again comes across the line, on for Banks. Working his way towards the Leeds 10-metre line, and he almost gets there on the last. What can Newcastle do here? They're on the 5th tackle, and it's Miller with the play. Gets the ball away, actually, for Pearce, who throws a wayward offload, and it's eventually lost by Banks and reclaimed by Whittingham. So Leeds with the play on their own 10. So just trying to build that pressure again. Newcastle doing really well. And you've got players like Skerritt Evans who can carry the ball so well out of the backfield. They've really got to watch out. Millington leads his sole try scorer in this half. Gets a nice offload away to Hartley, who gets a bit of space to work, grits his teeth and heads into the tackle of 3. Just past the 20-minute mark. There's Fox. Short pass for Stead. Just slowly, gingerly gets to his feet. Pertil looks a little bit forward on for Harry Smith, who's been introduced back into the action. And gets himself to halfway. Now Pertil, inspired by that run. Can he get the ball away? He just jinks and jives. And ends up over on this near side, 40 metres from the Newcastle half. Short side play, kick ahead by Harry Smith. Just goes over the head of Bragg. I think that looks to be too long. But it's taken in the end by the fullback, who does get clear of his line. That's important that he gets away, otherwise it'd be a dropout and Leeds will have more possession. By this way, Newcastle actually have a bit of ball to play with and can do what they can. It's Cullen. It's down just shy of 20 metres. Newcastle working their way away again. It's Miller this time. To play the ball for Harry King, who darts out dummy half and goes at the line, gets the metres. It's a good carry. It's a really good carry from Harry King. Getting himself to within the 40. A little juggle too. Referee says not. We're on the 5th. Deladriti, has he seen it's 5th tackle? He gets a nice offload back inside. But again, trying to force the play, Newcastle, when it's just not needed. It's not necessary. man's left down. It's that man Pearce who's been so good for Newcastle in this first half. It's forced down and it's a little bit serious. So the score sits at 58 points to 4 in favour of the Rhinos. Dax Millington scoring Leeds' only second half try. Obviously the Rhinos came into this second 40 minutes with 10 tries under their belts already. Noah Whittingham leading the way with 3 tries. Jacob Stead with 2. But Flynn Taylor providing the only response for Newcastle. But this just looks a little bit serious. We'll just take a quick break from commentary. We'll just hope that the Newcastle man, I think it's Seamus Knight, just hope he's okay. Oh, sorry, it's Pearce, excuse me. He's got to his knees. Glad to see that Pearce is okay to play on. He's been given the all clear from the medical teams of both Leeds and Newcastle. And he's allowed to play on. So just hit the hour mark. And Smith sends Stead into the line. Big 20 minutes coming up here. Want to obviously end on a high, the Rhinos, if they can. As Foxall just has to give himself up. The play wasn't on. Thomas just raises a hand in apology. But I think actually it was Fox just slightly overrunning the play. I mean, he'd set off a bit earlier than he was meant to. But now Edmonton back on the field. Ball gets stripped out. Is it because they play on, or are they going to say it's a knock on? They're saying it's a knock on. It's not really the way to reintroduce yourself back into the field of play. He's had a spell on the sideline, but Newcastle will then get the ball with a scrum 20 metres from their own try line. So Newcastle from the scrum with Bradley. I don't know, it's that right hand side. Using a side that's, and Leeds caught offside as well. That's a double benefit here for Newcastle. Not only did they get some decent metres from the scrum, they also get the penalty. He's a little bit too eager on that occasion to come up and meet him in the line. As Bragg kicks over the top. Start the set just over halfway. There's Ryan King. Get something on here for Newcastle if they can. There's Noakes, darts back over to the right side. Thomas and Teal are there. Thomas back on it. Looks like a second row role, so it'd be slightly newer to him, but obviously not a lot of difference between the centre and second row positions. There's Bragg. Has to take it into the line himself. The line was set up all wrong. Everyone was a bit too flat for the fullback. In the end, just to dart across and take it down himself. There's King out of dummy half. Put on his back by Mason Corbett, who's back in the field of play as well. There's Bragg on the last. Goes for the high. Bomb, and Skerritt Evans is there. Hutchinson as well, but whether that was miscommunication, I'm not sure. It was either way. It was frustrating, I think, for the Leeds players and staff, as was a pretty routine take. The Newcastle defensive line was coming up, but not at any rate. But nevertheless, just putting themselves under more pressure, Leeds. A bit unnecessary. As Newcastle get the scrum feed, 10 metres from the Leeds line, looking for the second try of the game. Flynn Taylor has one already for the Thunder, but that's well read by Millington, coming up and meeting Clapham straight on, just shy of the 20, pushes him back to the 20, so they've lost about 7 or 8 metres there. And still, this Leeds defence comes forward. Edmondson and Corbett this time backing up the Newcastle man. It's Harry King this time. Pearce onto Noakes. Hit strong by Purtill and Thomas as well, trying to dislodge the ball and stop this Thunder attack if they can. Pearce turns, looks for the offload. Edmondson and Corbett wrap that ball nicely. Now they're on the try line again, Newcastle. Bragg. Nice show and go from Stringer. He's back into the line. He tries to get the offload. The ball's up in the air. It's back. It's a great offload. Are we calling that this is a held tackle? It is. So Stringer will play the ball for Bragg again. Little dab kick over the top. Taylor Smith juggles but takes nice and comfortably, and stays, more importantly, stays in the field of play. More importantly there, Phil. The Rhinos, as you just saw Chev Walker in your picture. Obviously a few of these under-16s players in the scholarship will be looking to impress him and make the most of their game time here before they look to move into the academy next year. And Chev just down to get a bit of flavour for what's to come. There's Purtill for Fox. Now Thomas. All under 15s, those names, so be looking forward to spending another year in the scholarship here at Leeds. There's a nice charge at the lineup. That's Mason Corbett, who's come on at loose forward. As a hooker, but also looking to make a couple of inroads as a loose as well. As Harry Smith, a beautiful kick it behind, he sits up nicely. Taken in the end by Clapham, who looks to have gone to that fullback role as Deladriti's gone from the field and Bragg's gone into halfback. There's Newcastle with Noakes over the 30. Up there again by Leeds. It's a good defensive effort again from Leeds. It's not being too scrappy. They are getting the job done. As they reach the 5th tackle, it's got to be a big kick, and it is Deladriti who's on the field now. Kicks high, and Hutchinson takes a bit of space in front of him there, Dylan, and in the end runs at the big man of Finlay Lawless. Wouldn't be the man I'd choose to run at personally, but here comes Millington over halfway. Now Thomas goes at the line. Purtill for Fox. Is there a little gap out wide? I'm not too sure. Just ends up taking it to the ground in the end. There's a halfback. As well for Purtill down the short side. Hutchinson. I thought he'd send that on for Teal then, but I got why they were trying to do that in the first half, because that was that's where a lot of the chances were coming. But nevertheless, Leeds with Millington. Leeds' sole try scorer. Gets the offload, but it's straight into the arms of Pearce, and there's a slap on the stone slabs in front of us from head coach Buttrell. It just overplaying in the final areas. Just something that you don't really need to be doing here, Leeds. As Noakes comes in off the edge again into the middle of the field, met by Purtill and Corbett. Thomas in there as well. It's King, hit by Aladapupo, who I think with the last player that Newcastle will want to see back out on the field, wreaking havoc. Definitely one up for man of the match, along with Noah Whittingham. Mason Corbett's had a great game as well. Harry Smith. A couple of good Leeds boys having a nice run out today, especially the young guys. It was really promising to see for the future of the club, as that kick allowed to bounce over the head of Taylor Smith and goes over the sideline. Clever play, no need to force it there. Sun continues to beat down here. Stanley just slightly obscuring our view. Well, Leeds will get the scrum on their own 30. Until just a little problem with him. He gets a thumbs up from the physio. So Leeds underway we go again. Clock keeps ticking. We're inside the last 10 just about. There's a lad of Pooper. Nice carry from the man wearing number 19 today. As Purcell waits at dummy half. On for Corbett, shifting it for Edmonton. Keeping the ball moving nicely. That's something that's been really positive to see in this. That Leeds have wanted to move the ball and promote the ball in a real positive way, as Smith doesn't give the ball to Whittingham and instead rolls over on the 30. Purcell off dummy half. Is there a gap for the man playing hooker in this one? No, not quite. Gets himself to the 20. Leeds come down this short side. Smith comes across. Nice pass. Catches the winger who's come on his inside. And it's Taylor Smith in for the try. 6 minutes left in the game. And it's a try time again. 60 points is up. Beautiful from Harry Smith to spot that Flynn Taylor had come in off his edge and it was anticipating that Millington was going to get the ball and instead threw it over the top. Missed 2 men out and Taylor Smith gets his second of the game. It's been a points flurry for the man wearing 2 in this game. 2 tries, 7 goals. You do the maths. My maths is right, it is 22 points, which will go to 24 if he can convert. Missed his first attempt from pretty much the same position that Millington scored from. He just takes his time to get this one. Keeps his head up and goes for the posts. No, not this time. The score remains 62 points to 4. Leeds. I think the party can truly start now. A superb performance once again from this young Rhinos side, looking to end the year on a high. And Newcastle just not really been at the races. That first half just absolutely punished. You can't really come back from 10 tries down. It's a tough ask. In the second half, been a bit more level as the chances have been given to other players to get game time. Of course, it's not about the scoreline at this age or really at academy either. It's about pure development, and some of these guys, the minutes will be absolutely crucial, whether they're looking to go into the academy next year, like we've touched on already, or set a nice foundation to build into next year. Show a bit more of what they can do. It's obviously more important than the scoreline at the end of the day, which is representative of a good team performance overall. As Aladapupo, over halfway, just canters into the line. There's an ease about it. Goes at his own pace, but it's nice. And, of course, challenging for this Thunder side. And they're wanting more tries here. Luca Teal, can he break down the edge? Just looks at the referee. Looks if he lost the ball. He's looking at the referee. Says he's lost it. and the referee does say he's lost it. So don't really look at the referee if you're wanting to show that you've given away a penalty. So Newcastle. Game really almost over for them. It's been a tough evening here at Stanningley. Going to be definitely a long coach trip back as Deladriti working down towards this edge with Clapham. That's a nice wrestle with Millington, and Harry Smith intervenes. So it's time to put you down. As Pearce, a shining light definitely in this game for Thunder. Got through a lot of work as Ben. And now on the last, Deladriti kicking into the backfield, and it's a simple take in the end for Hutchinson, who has one little final stretch of their legs. As the minutes tick down. He's going through the motions just to end this one. Harley Thomas playing on the 40 now. Skerritt Evans forever keeping on showing that intensity to keep coming away from his own line. But that it's going to be a scrum to Newcastle. He's shown the same intensity since the first minute. Leo Skerritt Evans. And you can check out his interview now with the Rhinos on our YouTube channel or on the website. So from the scrum, Bragg. Just over the halfway line. Now Noakes, another player that, let's say, there's plenty of players that have got through a lot of work for Newcastle. Ben Pearce and Noakes being two in particular. Ryan King in this second half has stood up and got his hand on the ball. It'd been quite easy to say no. So look at the scoreline, but look at the scoreline and sort of give way to whatever attack Leeds were going to throw at them. But so in true sportsmanship, excuse me, they've carried on and definitely got a try that they deserved. Thomas just receives a bit of treatment, and it's just going to be a late change. No point treating him out on the field with how long's left in the game. Bobby Hartley just coming on to replace him with a minute or so. There's not too long remaining. Just makes his way from the field with a bust nose. A staple of rugby league. You're not getting a bit of claret coming from the nose. Deladriti, flat ball for getting a little forward for Miller. Is there one last hurrah though as Clapham steps back inside, gets an offload away. It's two onto Bradley. Steps away. Is there going to be this opportunity for Newcastle? In the end, shrugs off the challenger two. He's going to end up being down on the 10, but it doesn't matter as Leeds Rhinos Under-16s record a fantastic win over Newcastle Thunder. The final score 62 points to 4.